Welcome to episode 85, Multiculturalism. To rehash, internal joke recycle, some of what I mentioned in episode 61, internal joke about closed captioning. No, to recycle some, internal joke, rehash you fool. Okay, going back to what I brought up in my What a Dilemma blog episode, in a sporting contest, I don't think it's outside of my philosophy of life to root for one team over another. I mean, a rival is not necessarily an enemy. You need your rival because winning against your great rival gives you a momentous happiness moment. So, as I see it, it's okay to have a favorite team, even though when you're rooting for your team to win, it means you're essentially wanting the opposing team to lose, to the huge dismay of their fans. The thing is, though, it's pretty arbitrary how a team gets to be your favorite team. Internal joke. Arbitrary? Whew, I thought he was going to say random. It might be that you become a fan of a certain team because of where you were born, location, or to whom you were born, heritage and culture, or just because of something happening to you in your life that's related to a certain team, circumstances. That something happening could be a momentous moment, such as your dad taking you to your first game, or as mundane as you having a crush on a particular player on a particular team. Internal joke. Mundane. Or, of course, it could be just a bandwagon thing where your city or community happens to be rooting for a team on a winning run. The same type of reasons that make you a fan of a particular team can make you dislike another team. But whatever it was that caused a team to become your favorite team or one you dislike, at some stage in your life or in that life of yours, you could change your feeling towards a particular team. It could be for many reasons, from a player on your team being traded to perhaps because of something you discover about the team that caused you to like them for the first time or to not like them anymore. Internal joke. Wow, that's a lot of change if it's your national team. But as an external observant, internal joke, that means you done meddling internally. As someone not born to any of the countries that competed in the last World Cup, a most nationalistic event outside of war that can happen on this planet, I had an easier time deciding who to root for, if I was to root for any team at all for any given match, or to win the whole thing. So during the tournament, I was chatting one time with this hangout buddy of mine, and well, actually, we now live in the United States, but he's originally from an African country and I'm from a West Indian country, with both our homelands staying as British colonies almost 2 years longer than America did. After years of Premier League indoctrination, we couldn't help but root for the team with the most players that we know and with whom we are most familiar. Not that we didn't like other teams or root for other teams. He, being from Africa, wanted to see the African teams do well, and me, being from what's called the CONCACAF region, could not help but root for the North American teams. It really would have made my day if the US had progressed to the quarterfinals. But of the teams that were amongst those favored to possibly win, we were both rooting for England and France. When we were talking about the England versus France matchup, it was weird, but we both blurted out almost in unison. I was rooting for England, but I didn't mind that France won. To me, rooting for two European teams was a sign of our multiculturalism. It was all about a change from what otherwise might have been the perspective of how we viewed the teams and their countries. You know, going back to how I spoke about multiculturalism in the last couple episodes, you could say there's a difference in how multiculturalism is treated or perceived in France versus in England. But I think it's more a situation where the French like their multiculturalism, at least some of them do. Well, I hope a majority. That's an internal joke. While the English dislike theirs. By that I mean the French seem to celebrate, at least some of them, and take pride in their multiculturalism, while English seem to only tolerate theirs. But at least a few of them try. But remember what I mentioned about rivals versus enemies? England is part of Great Britain, a nation as tribal and provincial as you can get. They have slowly managed to change enemies into rivals. Internal joke. Mostly friendly ones, I'm sure.